Ocean training as a key to better mental health, FFWPU youth education. One of the major issues of our society today is the mental health of our youths, who are bombarded with stressful information daily via SNS. In many parts of the world, there are increasing cases of depression, suicide, and other seemingly inconsequential yet important issues like game addiction. Especially those in missionary families where parents had to sacrifice their children for their mission work, the number of youths with childhood trauma is not trivial. Recent studies of psychoneuroimmunology, or PNI, show that both physical and mental illnesses of adults have a strong correlation with their childhood environment. Things like parental neglect have been shown to even increase the risk of heart disease and depression later on in life. Another major cause of mental problems in our youths could be mental stress. What causes mental stress? One major source of mental stress is the mental pressure and fatigue from sustaining a gap between one's ideals and perceived reality. It's like climbing a cliff where the top represents your expectation and where you are, at the bottom, is your perceived reality. The taller the cliff of expectation, the more stress you tend to have. It makes sense then that underdeveloped countries like Paraguay tend to have happier people. They have a lot less social pressure and expectations for success. Based on Gallup polls, Paraguay has been ranked as the happiest nation in the world for several years. Then, how about our youth in FFWPU? We teach them from a young age to reach for the highest ideal, to be perfect, to live for the sake of the world like true parents. Our youth are expected to pursue the desires of their original minds and live for God, true parents, and humankind. That's a tall order, and unfortunately, our youth aren't provided a clear and practical path to reach that expectation. We obviously want our youth to reach for the highest peak, but how can we make it more plausible for them? People living a cultured life build up layers of stress. How can one get rid of that stress? It is not enough to just talk about it. Pacific Rim Providence, Chapter 2, Section 1, page 1893. How can ocean training help the youths of FFWPU with this? There are 5 ways that ocean training can help lessen the gap between the youth's realities and their expectations of themselves. Number 1. Providing a practical path to live for the sake of others at a global level. First, the Ocean Providence offers a substantial path for the youth to work together to fulfill the highest expectation, to live for humanity at a global level, and solve the miserable suffering of starvation. Many studies have shown that having a life goal tends to reduce stress, allow one to cope with difficult situations, and promote healthy behaviors. And Ocean Providence provides a very practical, clear, and visible goal of solving world hunger. It gives a way for youth to know what to direct their passions, skills, and potential towards, and live for the sake of others. Number 2. Cultivating healthier minds and bodies through nature. Secondly, ocean training will let the youths have healthier minds and bodies. When living daily lives, we tend to focus our minds on our closest relationships and problems. But nature allows one to feel the greatness of God's creation and the relative size of one's problems, feeling like they're smaller and easier to manage. Studies have repeatedly shown that spending time in nature improves mood, memory, and self-esteem, and even lowers blood pressures and risks of cancer. Psychologists Mark Wheeler and Nick Cooper even succeeded in reducing PTSD symptoms of war veterans by 30% by using fishing activities as part of their therapy. Getting rid of stress is the best cure for modern-day illness, and there is no better way to solve the problem than hunting and fishing, which are encouraged by the leisure industry. Pacific Rim Providence, Chapter 2, Section 1, page 1887. Number 3. Creating a path to becoming global leaders with concerns for the world. Thirdly, ocean training will allow the youths to take the first step to become global leaders. Through Ocean Providence, they will learn about the global problems such as the food crisis in developing nations, allowing them to turn their focus from their own problems to the problems of the world. This is the first step to becoming a global leader, to be concerned about the world. To To be a global leader, a person must think of the world's problems as his own and have the pioneering spirit that is needed for finding difficult solutions. As a peace-loving global citizen, Chapter 8. Number 4. Creating a culture of compassion for others and oneself. Fourthly, learning about the starvation problem will allow the youth to be compassionate. The state of starvation is a state where morals, ideology, and logic bear no significance. It is the most basic and the most terrible suffering. When the youth understand that such suffering exists in this world, they may begin to find the heart to be thankful for their lives and be compassionate to others and themselves. This compassion will propagate within their families and the community of FFWPU, creating a better psychological environment for all youth. Number 5. Uniting with the perspective and hearts of God and true parents. Fifthly, the project of solving global hunger opens a way to unite with the heart of God and true parents and ultimately provides a path to perfection. God and true parents, whom we need to unite with, feel the pain of their starving children every day. When youth begin to understand the terrible suffering of starvation, it is equivalent to learning to stand in the perspective of God and true parents. Only by uniting with God's perspective can we reach that high ideal of perfection. Human beings with original nature are designed to naturally desire to live for others and eradicate the world's suffering. Today's youths, especially, tend to desire to be proactive and substantially contribute to human society rather than speaking about ideologies inside church buildings. This project to solve world hunger allows us to become one with true parents' true love towards all of humanity, both in heart and action. In summary, the Ocean Providence and Training can 1. Give a clear-cut, attainable, and measurable life goal. 2. Bring youth closer to God's creation and nature. 3. Provide a path to become true global leaders. 4. Create an environment of compassion. 5. Let the youth connect with the heart of God and true parents more deeply. In all these ways, Ocean Providence and Ocean Training have the potential to bridge the gap between our need for perfection and our current reality. This is the key to unlocking the potential of our youth today that has been hindered by various mental and emotional struggles. They all have the potential to be perfect and to save the world. We just need to show them how, and the Ocean Providence provides that how. True Father had said, we have to cultivate a courageous spirit. We have to have more daring and courage than the pirates of the past. Ocean Church is the primary movement for developing that kind of spirit. Even the PhD graduates must come to Ocean Church. They have to go this course. By training in this way, we will surely develop the kind of leadership that can truly teach this nation and show it the way into the future. Thank you for watching. Let us work to help the future leaders of this movement and raise them up to be happy, wonderful children of God and true parents. You can learn more about this and the Ocean Providence and FFWPU youth by clicking the links in the description below.